Hello. As I promised, here's a video showing you how to link from your book sales page to a WordPress website. So here's the problem we have. As authors, we publish our books onto various kinds of online platforms. You might have it on Amazon, for example. You might be selling your book through a Drafted Digital, getting your book into multiple online locations. I recently did a tutorial on using the Books to Read platform, which is owned and run by Drafted Digital, to get your book into multiple online retailers and onto a single sales page to simplify the choice for your readers. If that sounds like something you might want to see, I've got a really good tutorial that I hope you'll enjoy. Back to the problem. So you're selling your book online and you want to now link what you have published to a website. So just to set the scenario for you and I, the scenario and the technology that I'm using is a WordPress website, meaning that's what I'll show you in this tutorial is specific to WordPress itself, although I imagine that the process might look similar for using Joomla or Drupal or Wix or Squarespace or one of the other website platforms. A second thing to know is that I'm going to be using a website builder within WordPress called Divi. Now, Divi is one of the most popular website builders out there. I know Elementor is very big. You might be using a plain installation of WordPress with no Divi and no Elementor whatsoever. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to link to your book, and the reason why is because I don't know exactly how your website's going to look on the back end, whether it's Divi website builder, whether it's Elementor, or whether you're brand new to WordPress and you're working from a fresh install. So I'm going to show you the most basic method, but I'm going to show you the method I use with Divi as well. And you can pick which one works best for you. Like I say, the theory applies to any WordPress website, and technically, once you've seen what I've done, this could apply to other websites like Wix and like Squarespace once you've seen how the process works. So where should you start off as the author? Obviously, your book should be published. So what I want you to have in front of you is your book sales page. Now, your book might be sold on Amazon, as you can see in the screen in front of you, in front of me. Your book also might be sold through a different platform. I did mention Books to Read. Here is my Books to Read page for the same book. So again, it doesn't matter which specific platform your ebook is on. Don't forget, the goal of this tutorial is how to get this linked to your WordPress website. So this or this to look and be linked on a page like this. So if I scroll down, what I'm going to see here is a purchase link in text, and I'm going to see a button. So either one works well. The button looks fancy. The link can be inserted anywhere on a website as well. What you'll notice is I've done this inside a blog post. As I mentioned, I'm going to first show you how to link and point to your book in a blog post. Then I'll show you on a separate page. Again, I'm using Divi. Just bear that in mind when I do show you my website and the page, that's what you're seeing. But again, I think Elementor is going to be very, very similar. I've worked with it in the past. So where do we start? Let's open up our sales link. I'm going to focus maybe on the Amazon link for now. Again, it could be any link. It doesn't really make a difference. And obviously, it goes without saying that firstly, your book is published, and secondly, you have a WordPress website. This tutorial means nothing if you haven't started a WordPress website yet. I'm going to dive right in. Let me know if anything I say doesn't make sense in the comments. So obviously, WordPress, you generally would log on. I know the default URL to access your WordPress installation is /wp, I think -admin. I've logged in the background, and I don't want to have to go through my password screen for you. So I'm going to assume that you've gone to your WordPress website and that you already logged in. Again, that default URL, wp-admin. Now, the first step I promised you, I'm going to show you how to create this blog post. Okay, a blog post consists of just a few ingredients. I've kept it very simple on the inside because you can put whatever you want. Obviously, the goal of this is just to show you how to get the hyperlink text and the button. There's so much more you can do inside a page with text and videos and pictures. I'm going to show you the bare bones, and we can always chat about the styling and other information in a separate video if you wanted to. Obviously, let me know if that's the case. So, on our dashboard, I'm going to go to Post. I'm going to go to Add a New Post. Step number 1. Step number 2, I'm going to select a default editor. So I'm not going to show you in my default Divi builder for the blog post. I'm going to show you in the Gutenberg editor of WordPress. I'm going to pick firstly a nice sounding name. So by my books. Very important when you are starting a new post on your WordPress website. Firstly, headline. Secondly, obviously you want to pick a category. The categories that you have might, or it's going to be unique to whatever website you have. You can always add a new category. I'm going to select a random category, my site. The next thing, I'm going to set a featured image. So I did beforehand go into my Canva platform, and I did create a very simple featured image for my blog post. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go into my media library. I'm going to select it. There we go. So all I've done, just to recap, is I've got a headline. I've selected a category of whatever. Again, it doesn't make actually a big difference. I've selected a featured image. Now, what did I promise you? I promised you that first I'm going to select the hyperlink text. I'm going to show you how to do the hyperlink text. So I'm going to, in my Gutenberg editor, I'm going to click on the plus sign. I think we could probably just type in paragraph. Yep, there we go, paragraph. And I'm going to type in whatever text I'm going to use to sell the book to my visitor. So, please, would you consider buying my book? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. No, you should never do that. That's terrible. Okay. Here is the link. Here is the link, full stop. Enter. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, I've got the book pages open that I've already published. I'm going to select the text. I'm going to come back to the post. And the first method is as simple as highlighting on the text, clicking on the picture of the link, and inserting. I'm going to hit enter. We can click on, I think, here as well. Before I publish this, do you notice what happens here when I click on the link is that it opens in a new tab. The original page is still open. That's how I like it to be done. The alternative is that it replaces this page. So I'm going to go back to the article. I'm going to select the link that I've just inserted, and I'm going to say open in a new tab. Now, this is actually as simple as it can be. I'm going to publish this brand new post. It's thinking. It is updating, and very soon we shall have a published article. Again, all we've done is headline, category, image, hyperlink. Oh, my spelling is terrible. Okay. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to go to my blog page. Again, doesn't make a difference what this page looks like. This is just where I show all my new articles. And there we have it. Buy my book, buy my books. I'm going to open the article. And here we have the first step, the hyperlink inserted. There's my title, there's my picture. Please buy my book. Here's a link. If I click on it, there it opens to Amazon. Guys, that's the first method I've shown you, how to link from your book being sold on Amazon. Again, we could have used this other link here, but the bottom line is pointing it through a simple blog post within hyperlink text. But I did promise you a second method. So let's go back. I want to show you how to insert this button over here. Again, going back to where I was working on the blog post. I'm going to leave a space. I'm going to go back to the insert or the plus button inside my Gutenberg editor. And all I'm going to type in is button. I'm going to select buttons. And there we go. We have a button inserted. Okay. I'm going to select the same URL that I used before. I'm going to come back. I'm going to click on the button. So all I'm doing is selecting the button. Do you see a very similar icon? You'll see a similar icon of the link. I'm going to click, insert. I'm going to hit enter. And technically, we know I'm going to open the book page in a new tab. Done. But don't forget, okay, right now you can see that it has the default placeholder text saying add text. In other words, if I publish this button as is, you're going to see a few funny things. I'm actually going to do it, but you're going to see that I've put no text inside the button, and I've got no spacing below the button. So it's going to look squashed, and it's going to look weird with no text on the inside. Let's prove that quickly. I'm going to come back, refresh, and Oh, it actually doesn't insert it unless we put text. Fair enough. So let's say, buy the book. Okay. Publish or update. Okay. And if I come back, I should now see that there's a button. I think it was waiting for the default text to come in. There it is. Now, I don't like the color. I don't like that it's so squashed at the bottom. So this is nitty-gritty. This is not necessarily part of the core help that I wanted to show you, but I'm quickly going to make a few changes. So I'm going to insert a space, which is just inserting a paragraph. And there we go. I have put a space after the button. I'm going to leave a space or two. What I'll do as well, this is totally optional. I do like doing this to visually create a bit more space. I'm going to insert a separator at the bottom and maybe leave one space and one paragraph space after the separator. And now watch what happens if I refresh this. What I'll see, oh, let me take this out, sorry. What I'm going to see is the button. As I said, sorry, I did want to change the color of the button. I'm going to come, I've clicked on the button, I've clicked on the styling section. I'm going to select background and change it to a yellowy type option. Done. So again, all I did was I clicked on the button. I came across to not the post, but the block. I've selected the styling part. I've changed the background. Technically, you can change with the font size and you could change the color of the text on the inside, but white does contrast quite nicely. Okay, so I've changed the styling of the button. Bottom line, I know I can get a bit sidetracked with these things, but let's go back, give it a second or two to think. Let's refresh, and voila, here we have the link that redirects to Amazon. Here we have the buy the book button that also redirects to the same page. If I wanted to change the link to the books to read, I'm going to copy that link, for example, come back in, so click on the button, I'm going to click on the edit sign here, I'm going to replace whatever was there, Control P, Control V, I'm going to save it, I'm going to then update it, and theoretically it should then redirect. Once I've refreshed this, we should redirect to the books to read page, and let's prove that it works. It works. Beautiful. Now, before you go, thank you for hanging around for the 30 minutes or so. I'm going to show you quickly how to update a page, as I promised. So I'm going to use my live website. It's a Divi website. The page that I'm going to select has nothing to do with books, but the theory of how it works is going to be fine. So I'm going to go from my blog page. I'm just going to go to the Contact Us page, for example. So here we are, a Contact Us page with some buttons. Now what I want to show you is using a page structure and not a blog structure specific to Divi, how I would do the same task. So I am logged into the background. You can see it because I got all the edit buttons. Elementor I think will look very similar. I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. Okay, I'm going to wait for it to wake up. I'm going to scroll down. Now we can see these two buttons. If I was being lazy, I would simply duplicate and edit, the third button that I've just added in. However, I'm not lazy. Actually, I am. But I do want to show you how to do it from the beginning. So I'm going to, below the second button, click on the plus. It's going to ask, what do you want to insert? I'm going to say, I would like to insert a button, please. I'm going to insert a button. Now the button default text is click here. I'm going to select the hyperlink that I want. I'm going to go to link inside my Divi front page editor. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to say target, rather open, not in the same window, but a new tab. I'm going to click and I'm going to click save. So all I've done is I've achieved the same link that I did in the previous blog post, but I've done it on a Divi page. So if I come to our contact page, that question mark should not be there. If I scroll down, we're going to see a very ugly looking button. But when I click on this ugly looking button, it will direct me to where I want to go. So now the question you might have is, well, how do I make it not ugly? If I go back, this is where we might get a little geeky. I'm going to try not to go too far down the rabbit hole. I'll come into the button. What I'll quickly do is just align it to the center and not to the left. I'll go into the button section, I think. And where it says, do you want to use default sort of styling for the button? I'm going to say, no, I want to style it myself. I'll make the text a little bigger. I'm going to change the font, I'm going to change the font color of the button to white. I'm going to set a background color of a disgusting looking yellow. There's a lot of options here, so I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole, but it's important that you can see with the page editor like Divi or Elementor or whatever the competition might be, that it's actually not hard to achieve the same thing. You can apply this logic on any page. I've picked a random page, but the process should stay the same. So I'm going to click on save. I'm going to save. I'm going to refresh my contact page. And we should see a brand new button that points people to Amazon. So just to recap what I've shown you, if you've remained seated and watching for the whole of the video, firstly, thank you if you have. I've shown you how to create a blog entry in your website, a default WordPress Gutenberg editor. I've shown you how to hyperlink to your book. I've shown you how to add a button using the Gutenberg block editor in WordPress that also points people to your book sales page on Amazon. And as a third and final thing, if you are using a page builder like Divi or Elementor, I've shown you how to go into your website, to edit, to add the extra button on the page, wherever it might be. I showed you a tiny bit of styling, although again, that is a rabbit hole that I try to avoid. I hope this helps you. Let me know if there's any other tutorial that maybe I can help with as well. This was recorded for someone from YouTube who did have this question specifically for us. Let me know if there's anything else you think I should be recording for you. Thank you.